Hi guys, welcome back to my web series, not a fucking podcast. Now the web series is nearly coming to an end, so if you like what we've been doing here, hit the subscribe button so we can keep this thing going. How are you feeling, Beck?
I'm nervous.
Have you ever lied in your life?
Yes.
Did you ever play up for airtime?
No.
And there's deception indicated.
Ooh. Did you really hate Gia as much as it seemed like on the show, or did you do it for clout?
No. I didn't hate her as much as you're seeing, because you're seeing the worst parts. We had an interlocking friendship here and there.
Did you lean into that for airtime?
No. She came for my husband. I hated her for what she did.
That's correct. Yeah.
So, okay.
Being truthful.
Mm-hmm. Do you believe that Gia is a pathological liar?
Yes.
And she's being truthful.
Were you really in love with Danny?
Yes.
Another truthful answer.
Thank you.
To your knowledge, did Gia cheat on Scott during the experiment?
No.
It's inconclusive.
What does that mean?
It means she's not being forthcoming with the full answer.
Did you know of Gia doing anything inappropriate during the experiment in regards to infidelity?
Yes.
Yeah. And now she's being truthful.
To your knowledge, did Gia cheat on Scott during the experiment?
No.
Again, it's inconclusive. More information, please.
I think it's because she acted inappropriately with other men while she was still with him.
Was that the grass is greener challenge?
Nah. She was on the phone to Alan and Dave Hand
Oh my God, so
whilst they were still married when we were at the pub that day.
was Gia talking to Alan before leaving the show?
Yes.
It's a truthful answer.
Is there anyone from the cast that you're attracted to?
Yes.
It's a truthful answer.
Are you attracted to Luke?
No.
And that's a big fail.
Lie detector test, how did you find that? You were a bit stressed, weren't you?
Stressed me out.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I've never had a lie detector before.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's wild.
So who do you want to see on the lie detector test next?
I want to see Danny on the lie detector next.
So we've actually asked Danny. He said he'll only do it if he gets paid $100,000. I don't know how to break it to you, Danny, but no one is going to pay you $100,000.
No one.
Okay, Beck, thank you so much for coming on my web series. How are we feeling today?
I'm feeling good. I'm
Yeah?
feeling not insecure.
Yeah, well, that's
That's
good.
a first for everything, right?
Yes, and I love that you came colour coordinated today.
Thank you. I thought pink was the right.
Yeah, right vibe. Okay, let's jump straight into it. You have been one of the most polarizing characters per se on this year's MAFS,
Yep.
and is it fair to say that the audience hasn't received you well as it speaks?
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
I think definitely polarizing. I think there's a small group of people that love me.
Yeah.
And there's a much larger group of people that cannot stand me.
And why do you think that is?
I don't know. I think what you see is what you get with me, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in life, it's it's the same as in the real world.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're going to sit at a dinner party and there's going to be 20 people there, and not every single person of those 20 people are going to love you, and it just is like that. I don't know. I said it how it is. I was truthful, and I cried when I cried, and I yelled when I yelled, and I apologized when I apologized. It's just me.
Let's touch base on the relationship.
Oof,
Now, there's
yeah.
a lot to unpack here, but honestly, if I can go first, I actually think Danny was never into you. Thoughts?
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree wholeheartedly. Coming out of it now, and watching it has been really confronting, because what I was being told when the cameras weren't there and what he's saying to the cameras, I look like a fucking nutcase. I'm like, we're all rainbows and lollipops and everything's dandy, but then obviously you're not into me, and it's been so hard to watch, to be honest with you. But yeah, I agree, he wasn't into me.
Did you feel like he was into you whilst filming?
Yeah, this is the thing, right? We had amazing moments together. You know, weekends were great. We would go off, we would do Bondi to Bronte every every weekend, and we would go for dinners and go on dates and stuff like that. Dates that I paid for, but go on dates and stuff like that, you know. And we were always laughing, always laughing. But every time I would bring up the fact that we were having sex once a week, and sex is really important to me. Like, you know, I'm sorry, when you're in a committed, loving relationship, like that element of desire has to be there. He would say to me, well, now that you've brought it up, you've made it worse, so you're pushing me away more. And I'm like, well...
Is that an excuse, do you think?
Well, of course, it's gaslighting.
Yeah.
It's like, well, hang on a minute, let's just have a conversation. Why don't you want to have sex with me? Because you're not into me. Just say it.
Do you think Danny played the game better than you did? Do you think he was playing a game?
I do think Danny was playing a game. I think he played the game way better than I did. I was just like...
Yeah, you sucked.
I sucked.
You sucked.
I have no game. But I have no game in life either when it comes to relationships. I'm just like, yay. Like, let's all be happy. And so... Yeah, I think he knew that by being with me would get him a lot of airtime because obviously I'm controversial, right? I say it how it is. I fuck up all the time. Like, that's just me. But I think that he knew that if he stuck it out with me, that he was going to get a lot of camera time.
Do you think when your relationship wasn't going well, do you think your energy and frustration was directed to other cast members, such as, you know, the infamous dinner party 3 when you and Alyssa butt heads, you and Gia go head to head a lot? Do you think you redirected your energy?
Absolutely.
When things were bad in your relationship?
Yeah, I definitely think I redirected energy. But I also think that there's elements to that dinner party that you guys didn't see.
Like what?
Well, like... The comment came up about this fucking comment. The comment about Gia being more into, Danny being more into Gia than he is me, right? Behind the scenes, Danny was like, well, this is your fault because you've got beef with Gia, so you need to fix it. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go in all guns blazing. But then with the other people, like Joel and Alyssa and stuff like that, the Alyssa stuff was directed because of what I was hearing in my ear. I react to things and then think about it later and then apologise later. That's why I'm constantly on an apology tour. I'm trying to work on that, guys. But then, for sure, I was trying to, in that moment, I knew my relationship was in the drain and I was trying to deflect. And actually what's happened is that my beef with Gia and that all of the arguments and stuff has actually ruined it for viewers and the cast because it's been more focused on that than it has been on the relationships, which is what people want to watch, you know?
Okay. I have to ask, I think I speak on behalf of Australia here. We know you and Gia aren't getting along in the show, but what is the actual beef and then why are you guys hanging out now? Is it fair to say that we are very, very confused? Can you let us know what's going on? I need to settle this once and for all.
Okay. So, the hens party happened.
Okay.
We couldn't stand each other.
Why?
I don't know. Do you know what? She just walked in and I'm a really big personality and she's a really big personality and I think instantly we clashed. And I think it was just like a side eye of like, yeah, you're too much for me and I'm going to be too much for her. And so instantly we just hated each other. I don't know why. It was just that feeling.
Okay.
And then towards the end of the night when we actually conversed, and you would have seen on Stan, I was like, yeah, I just bitched about you. She was like, I bitched about you, whatever. And then we went to the first dinner party and like there was a group of people that formed, right? So like Rachel, Alyssa, Stella, and Jules and stuff like that, they really very much kept to themselves and their relationships in the first instance. Whereas like me, Brooke, Gia, Rebecca, Mel, like all of our husbands all became best mates. We all, like all of the husbands became best mates. Farmer Luke and I became like this instantly. And so then we all started hanging out. And that's the infamous icebergs night. But then after that, I realised she's a dodgy bastard that is just super toxic and I can't stand her.
Then why are we seeing you guys hanging out? I really like...
That was in January.
Okay.
That was January 11th.
But the show had just finished, right?
Correct. So at the end, you saw us the last episode.
Yeah.
Gia and I walked out of One Global, which is the apartments that we stay in, the hotel.
Yeah.
And I walked out, going on my walk. Danny was at the gym, and I found Gia crying in a gutter by herself. So I was like, "Are you okay?" And she was like, "No, I'm not. I'm like really, I'm really not like good." And I was like, "Okay, do you want to talk about it?" Because she had no one left, right? Like, I'm lucky. I had Stella. Alyssa and I were friends by then. Rachel was my best friend. You know, I had these people around me, but she had no one. And I was like, "Do you want to talk about it?" And she's like, "Yes." And I found her in the gutter outside of the pub, the Zetland. And I was like, "Okay, like we'll go in for a wine." So we went in for a wine and we were talking. Anyway, when the cameras found us and the producers, we were absolutely sideways. We'd been there for an hour and a half already.
So a lot of wine can be drunk in an hour and a half.
A lot of wine. And then from that moment, we kind of just became sort of surface level mates. It's quite cooked, actually. And then after the show ended...
I feel like I got whiplash from the back and forth.
Babe, same. What do you mean? I've got PTSD.
Now it's time for the Temu phone.
The Bluetooth device is connected successfully.
Now it's time for the Temu phone segment. It's a segment where you guys call in and ask my guests anything you want. Hi, listener. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. We've got Beck here. Ask your question.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Beck, I'm just wondering, have you ever been tested for autism or a personality disorder?
Oh, quite brutal. No, I haven't. But I don't have autism and I don't have a personality disorder. I did actually just get diagnosed with ADHD though.
That actually would explain some things, I think. Because part of it, I think some of your reactivity is potentially linked to your ADHD. So maybe you should talk about that.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I've only just been diagnosed. So now that I've got the diagnosis, it's quite interesting because it sees like my reactions to things and not being able to regulate and whatnot. It's answered so many questions for me. And what qualifications do you have? Sorry.
I'm an armchair psychologist.
Oh, okay, cool. All right. Hello.
Hi, Beck. Hi, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. What's your name?
My name's Chris.
Hi, Chris. It's Beck. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Beck. What's happening?
Come at me, baby. What do you got for me?
How do I get rich quickly?
How do you get rich quickly? Okay. You could follow Gia's lead and do OnlyFans. Do you have a sizable dong?
Do I have a sizable dong? I mean, it's marriage material dong.
Okay, babe. So people might pay you for that. Find someone to marry that's rich, or do you know what I would do if I were you? I would start volunteering at a retirement village, find someone really, really rich, and get them to sign over their will to you when they are in the crux of
That
cuckoo-ness.
is a fantastic idea.
Thank you.
I'm going to go and get an internship as a receptionist at an aged...
No, dude, babe, you don't even need to do that. You just read them books on the weekend. I know someone in real life who read someone books on the weekend for 5 years. They got left $2.5 million.
Bullshit.
No bullshit, real life.
Okay, sign me up to that. I'm more than happy to read.
Okay, otherwise, if all else fails, follow in Gia's lead. Do the OnlyFans, babe. Ta-ta, Chris. Bye.
Hello.
Hi, listener. We have Beck here for you to ask your question.
Hi.
Beck, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Good. My question was just around now that the season is airing and the season has ended, where do you sit in regards to whether or not Danny did say to Gia that she was his type?
Oof, good question, babe. I would tell you right now, from where I sit, I believe, well, I watched the conversation happen, remember? I was sitting there, so I watched them. I know that there was a conversation. It's my personal belief that Gia said to Danny, in the real world, would Beck be your type? And he said, no, not really. And she said, I'm guessing I'd be more your type. And he was like, yeah, probably. That's where there's smoke, there's fire, honey. A conversation was definitely had. I don't think he flat out was like, babe, I'm into you. But I definitely think that it was said just in a roundabout way.
Okay, yeah, I feel like it's somewhere in the middle.
Agree. Somewhere in the middle, babe. It was definitely said. I watched the conversation happen, you know?
Yeah. Okay, that was my question.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Hi, Beck.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm really well, thanks. Thanks for wanting to ask me a question. Hit me.
So, marry, avoid, or be finger banged by David, Scott, or Stephen?
Marry,
Avoid
Or avoid
or
or
finger
finger
banged. Whew. Okay.
Scott, Stephen, or David, right?
Scott, Stephen, or
Yeah.
David. Okay.
Scott, Stephen, David. It's the big three.
Marry, avoid, finger bang. Okay. Avoid David. Marry Scott. Finger bang Steve-O.
Wouldn't be his first rodeo.
What would you do, babe? Hit me quickly. Okay,
I think I'd do the same. I think we're on the same page.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Yay! Thanks, Beck.
Thanks, babe. Bye.
We were getting ready in the glam room and you told me that you got fired since MAFS
Correct.
aired. So you're currently unemployed, you had a job, and then your employers saw you on the show and have decided, nah,
That is
got the
correct.
sack.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about that?
So everything was all good. Dinner party 3 happened and I came in the next day and they were like, we think you should come back after MAFS is finished. And I was like, absolutely not. I've, got bills to pay. And then a week to the day, I came in after lunch and there was a meeting for the end of the day and I walked up to my boss and I was like, we're going into the meeting room and I was like, you're obviously going to sack me. He's like, mm-hmm. And I was like, right, okay. And I was like, well, you paying me out? He's like, why haven't you quit? And I was like, because you owe me money.
Can I ask what you were doing before?
Yes, I work in key account management. So,
okay. So it's not like front of house based.
It is.
Okay.
So it is. And look, I get it, right? Dinner party 3, I was a vile human being. Mm-hmm. And I was yelling at everyone and it was absolutely cooked. Mm-hmm. But they know who I am as a person, but what I would do is I would essentially look after key accounts. So I would take people out for lunches, to the footy, all of that sort of stuff. It is front facing.
Yes. And I guess Australia has this perception of you.
Correct.
Now. Yeah, I guess people don't really talk about the risks of going on MAFS and losing your job. You probably didn't think that was going to happen, did you?
Never in my life did I think that was going to happen. I thought that it would, but I also didn't think that I would act like that either. Yeah. I was like, well, I know how measured I can be and people are going to laugh at that.
Yeah.
But I know in real life I can be really measured and I'm going to be fine. So there was nothing to worry about. But then when you're in that experience, you've done it. It's fucking stressful.
It is very stressful. You can swear.
Okay.
The show's literally called Not a Fucking Podcast.
Yeah, good.
Sweet. Yeah.
You never know. Mum tells me I'm not allowed to swear anymore on camera.